Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7 update 1.35. Now today's video is going to be one recommended to me by Rocky, so all credit goes to him. Now this one was originally running on 1.34, however it is still fully working as of update 1.35, and it puts out some truly ridiculous numbers using the Toyota GT86 limited edition. So we're going to get into the video. I'll take you through all of the tuning parts, all of the things you need, and the best way to run this race to get the lowest time possible. So let's get into it, and we're going to start off with the car itself. So it's going to be only 31,840 credits from the Toyota dealership. It's the 86 GT Limited 16 model, obviously not the 86 GT 15 or the 86 RZ 2021. It's the one slap bang in the middle. You can't really miss it. It's got some pretty unique aero parts on it, so you're going to go ahead and purchase that one. As you can see from standard, it's got a PP rating of 448.27, 203 brake horsepower. You know, nothing really kind of mind-blowing. So we're going to get into the parts first, and the first thing you're going to want to do is install the wide body modification as well as engine swap it. So it will have an engine swap. I believe it's the LT5 engine that goes in this one, obviously from one of the Corvette models. Now we're going to go ahead and go into the customization area, and then we're going to basically put on the customizable parts that you're going to need. So in terms of wheels, it is completely up to you. Now I just went for these ones over here, which are the Energy Racing RPF ones. Now in terms of the size, you want to just basically keep them standard size, standard rim width, and then the offset is going to be wide, so ensure you follow that correctly. In terms of the aero, at the front on the wide body you're going to have type A, same at the side, and then at the rear it's the exact same again. So type A, front, side and rear. And then for the wing, we've gone a low wing with end plate type 17, but it's completely up to you as long as you've got the low wing installed, and I do have a roll cage for this one. So we're going to head into the tuning shop, and these are the parts you need from Sports, Weight Reduction Stage 1 and Sports Hard Tyres. Onto Club Sports next, and you're going to need Weight Reduction Stage 2, and that is literally it. You don't actually need the ballast. From Semi Racing is the fully customizable LSD, Weight Reduction Stage 3 and increased body rigidity. From Racing it's going to be polished ports, and then over here in the left hand side we need the Supercharger high-end torque, Racing intercooler, Racing air filter, Racing silencer, Racing exhaust manifold, Racing brake pads, Racing brake kit slotted, fully customizable suspension, Racing clutch, fully customizable Racing transmission. And then if we go into extreme, as you can see, we don't need anything from there, but you will need the carbon propeller shaft from the ultimate tuning section. So again, big thank you to Rocky for recommending this one. So you're going to need the LT5 Corvette C7 engine in, as you can see on the left hand side, that is installed. Obviously in terms of your tyres, you're going to be using the Sports Hard Compound. Again, these are, you know, have quite a good life. They're not racing tyres or anything, but they are fairly decent. Fully customizable suspension set to 90, 10, 40 and then 50 on the expansion. Natural frequency is 3.10 at the front and 3.25 at the rear. No negative camber angle, and again no toe angle. Fully customizable differential, and again you're just going to set all of these to 5, so torque, sensitivity for the braking and acceleration. Fully customizable racing transmission. Now we're going to put the gears through the roof at 500. This is mainly to stop the car spinning up its tyres on its standard kind of gear ratio settings. No ECU. In terms of the downforce, I've gone for 100 and 300, so maximum for both. Then we've got the Racing intercooler, the Supercharger high-end torque, Racing air cleaner, Racing silencer. Then we have the Racing manifold, Racing brake system, Racing pads, and then up here we also have the Racing clutch and flywheel, as well as the carbon propeller shaft. Then we have polished ports, all the weight reductions and increased rigidity. So in terms of the event you're going to be using, you're going to head over to the far right into Asia, click on that, and then you're going to head over to the Tokyo Expressway in Japan, and then over to the World Touring Car 600. Go ahead and enter that event, and we'll have a quick chat about the car itself. So again, this one was recommended to me by Rocky. Now I believe he did mention that in terms of his run, he did kind of a normal run without the wall riding and such, but he did make the comment that possibly you could get some really quick times if you was riding the wall, and well, yeah, it turns out he was right. So I went ahead and did the other method. So he's done the clean method, I've just gone and done the wall riding method, which for me is very easy with this car, just because of the insane power that this thing puts down. I would fully recommend just kind of riding off of those walls. In all honesty, you're in the single player portion of the game, and for those that are saying, well, it's cheating, then well, you just need to grow up a little bit. So to be quite honest, yeah, just go ahead, do it. Who cares? In all honesty, we've been grinding the same events for ages, and this is just another kind of, you know, ridiculous build that kind of takes advantage of the 600 pp Tokyo grind. So overall, this thing is pretty crazy, putting out almost 1,000 brake horsepower, and really reminds me of the old C7 glitched build from way back in the day. Now, in terms of your assists, in all honesty, I'd just put full traction on. I'd keep it manual, put your full traction control on, and then I would make sure that you've got ASM on and counter steering assistance to strong. This is because this thing absolutely spins its tires up, especially in the early portion of the event, where, you know, it's kind of wet conditions and you're on, you know, pretty standard road tires. So yeah, certainly keep them on. We will turn them down a little bit later on, and I will tell you exactly when. So to start with, keep it in fuel mix 1 and just absolutely gun it up to turn 1. In all honesty, what you're looking for is just a left hand side of that barrier, slingshot around it, and literally you're all good in terms of the AI, at least anyway. Now, they may start catching you just because this car is extremely frustrating on the opening lap. To be quite honest, it's its weakest point. As you can see, it sort of gets on the barrier and then starts spinning up the rear tires as the you know, the assist light up like a Christmas tree at the bottom right of the screen there. So eventually, you know, you will get around the first lap. After that, in all honesty, the car becomes much more controllable, but don't expect it to feel too good on that opening lap. It is a little bit of a brute. Obviously, in terms of the power this thing's putting out, it's just absolutely ridiculous in a fairly small car. So yeah, you know, you're going to be experience a bit of wheel spin, you know, at least early stages, and it will kind of still spin its wheels up throughout the rest of the race, but again, it just becomes a lot more controllable the further you go into the race. As the conditions dry up, in all honesty, you should have no issues kind of, you know, getting that power put down entirely. Now, in terms of difficulty, I'm actually running it on normal here, but I fully recommend just throwing it on easy, to be quite honest. Again, the only kind of downside of putting it on easy is that you may start overlapping cars more than you want to. Even on normal difficulty, I pretty much overtook the majority of the grid in terms of lapping them, and as we all know, the Tokyo AI are an absolute nightmare, with it being quite a, you know, tight enclosed track. Actually getting a clean overlap done, it can be very, very frustrating, especially if you catch them at the wrong time of the track. It can massively kill your time, and that's kind of what happened to me here on this run that I'm doing. So in terms of, you know, losing that clean race bonus, just don't hit them on the opening lap. It does appear that if you do kind of bump into them when you're lapping them, you won't always lose the clean race bonus, but there still may be the risk there, so I just wouldn't recommend it. Keep it as clean as possible with the AI. And that final hairpin that you saw, do not run over the cones or the white lines, or your clean race bonus will be completely gone, and obviously that's what we're aiming for. Now, in terms of, you know, your fuel mix 1 on the straight, then fuel mix 6 anywhere else. So it's lap 4 where you're going to want to kind of mess around with your assists. I recommend just kind of taking off the ASM. You can take off more if you really want to, but again, it's still going to be a little bit slippy out there, and this car has a ton of power. So on to lap 7, right at the end was when I took my first pit stop. As you can see, those rear tyres absolutely shredded at this point. So it's up to you if you want to do it at the end of lap 6 or the end of lap 7. For me personally, I just go at the end of lap 7, put a new set of tyres on. So we're going to put some fresh sport hards on, and then we're going to fill up the car to full. Although the little diamond tells you that you can essentially get away with it by filling up to just under 3/4 of a tank, to be quite honest, I recommend just putting a full tank in anyway. It only takes a couple of seconds more. And again, it just ensures that you've definitely got enough fuel to run to the end, and then even have the chance to just turn the engine up to, you know, maximum output instead of running fuel mix 6 all the time, and really kind of get those lap times down. So there we go, that is our one and only pit stop done for the entire event, and then we're going to move on towards the end of it. So as you get later on into the event, you may notice that you'll start lapping the AI. As you can see, they're extremely frustrating considering you're absolutely barreling down the straights and such at over 200 miles per hour. So just be as careful as you can. They will really, really affect your overall time, to be quite honest. They're extremely slow. They're not the brightest, so they won't really move out of your way. It's essentially on you to just try and find a way to get around. So, you know, just be careful with them. That's why I do recommend putting it on a maybe even normal or hard, just to ensure that you run into less AI. Like I said, this is on normal, and I'm still constantly running into them, and I seem to just be catching them at the worst possible moment around the track, meaning that, you know, I'm losing precious seconds in terms of actually, you know, kind of getting this event over and done with in the fastest time possible. So we're going to finish up with over a lap of fuel at the end. Again, I could have probably turned the car up for the last 2 laps, but I just chose to kind of keep it fairly on the safe side just to ensure I didn't run out. So first place, nice and easy. Now this wasn't the best run, like I said, AI and not turning the engine up kind of did sort of, I guess, completely ruin the run, but it was a 25 minutes 14.896. I've gone back since and, you know, gone and run it a few more times, and it's quite easy to get it well within that 24-minute barrier. Our fastest lap was on lap 9. Again, not the perfect lap, we were still catching AIs and such, but it was a 159.169. Again, my fastest lap's gone down to a 157 with this build quite easily. In terms of your payout, you're looking at 825,000 credits with that clean race bonus, so no riding the walls won't affect you. Just don't hit the AI and don't run over that final hairpin. So there we have it, another ridiculous 600 pp build. I just don't get how these kind of cars manage to sneak through the cracks. You know, the fact that this thing can hit way over 200 mile an hour, puts out nearly 1000 brake horsepower, and yet it's still eligible for a 600 race is just absolutely bizarre. It really does remind me of the old Corvette C7 days when we used to have to run that thing with ridiculous toe angle. In terms of its outright pace, it is just absolutely fantastic, and you should have a ton of fun absolutely controlling this little beast. Once again, thanks to Rocky. I'll put him down in the description below. The recommendation is absolutely awesome. I'm having a great time using this car currently for my 600 Tokyo grind. So that's going to be it from me. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Turn your notifications on so you don't miss an upload from me. I upload GT7 and motorsport related content each and every day for your viewing pleasure. I'll have my Twitter, my Discord and my Patreon down in the description below. If you kindly follow me on Patreon, that would be absolutely awesome, or feel free to become a channel member. Your support absolutely means the world to me, and I will see you later on, guys. Have a fantastic day.